It is a good question for the simple reason that sometimes you have to wait a little while longer throughout the week because there's little knocks, there's little injuries when you've played Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. You'd like to work with a group and keep working with them. Obviously, if you're winning, the team's easy to pick. If you're losing, and when you pick that team, you pick the team to win the game with the tactic that you've played, and they've obviously come up trumps because they've won the game, and then it's quite easy. Again, sometimes there's some that can play 3 games in a week, and there's some that can't. So we have to be aware of that. All I'll say is that we're aware of all the players' strengths and weaknesses, fitnesses, natural fitness. Some have to work harder than others. But generally I like to keep a little bit of continuity and have people work and do well in training and in the games to get into the first team. You can't swan around in training and swan around in a game, a reserve game or a friendly that we arrange, and expect to be picked in the team. So those people know that they've got to work hard to get themselves in the team when a spot comes up.
People like James Dayton and Chapman sort of came in from a bit from nowhere Tuesday night, first games in quite a while. You obviously got people like Carl Storer and Asa Hall as well who are jumping at the bit. Is the temptation to throw one of them in because they will be that extra bit keen to prove something?
Well, of course, yeah. But as a manager, you have to make your decisions. Your teams will never get tested in your head. Like the people that have in their head is only my teams or my staff's teams, because we all talk about it. Get tested. Everyone else can have an opinion in hindsight, but what I can tell you is that every team we pick is for the benefit of the football club. We believe at that time, and then by the end of the season, it's proved whether you've been right or wrong.
Have you targeted a number of wins, a number of points from these last 15 games in sort of a block?
No, we haven't. You know that you've got to get. I mean, people say 50 points, but that's when there's 3 teams going down generally. So no, we haven't. We've just got to pick up as many points as we can early. 15 games to go, a lot of points to play for. We can't tell whether we're going to beat Luton away or draw with Newport at home at the moment, because that's been our result. So you can't pick out teams and say, well, we got to win that one, because we've beaten a top team and we've drawn and lost to teams that are a little bit lower. I think the teams at the bottom there are pretty much of a muchness. They're all likely to get a result somewhere, like Leyton Orient did this week. And they're all likely to get beat by somebody around them. The big games, of course, are the games when you play the teams that are around you and they become 6-pointers.
You're not involved in a 6-pointer this weekend, but it is Notts County Orient.
Yeah, that's right.
So there's going to be a team drops points there.
Yeah.
Is it therefore more important, especially with Orient next week, to go on into that with a bit of a cushion if you can?
Yeah, again, like you're stating the obvious, that of course we've looked at that, and you're right, that is the 6-pointer. We've got to make sure we win our games that are not 6-pointers necessarily with that particular team. Although it'd be nice to try and get enough points to overtake Yeovil by the end of the season, because even though I love the club, I still like to end up above them, and the management team, I like them, but still like to get more points than them. So we got to get as many points as we can, as early as we can, so that it's not left to the last sort of 2 or 3 games with the last 2 or 3 teams. We've got to make sure that we've got a few teams below us.
But you're in a situation with you're a goal up with a minute to go. The last 2 games you conceded at home, late goals. What will the message be? What will the instruction from the touchline be? Or can you try and sort of stop something like that from happening?
Well, listen, if there was a surefire way, then nobody would ever score in the last minutes. You just have to defend well, and you have to concentrate. for 96 minutes now. You know, the game's never 90 minutes. It's always 96. And if you look through the leagues at how many goals were scored in a 90-odd minute, and it's when you're only a goal up, which is why I always say you've got to try and be 2 up, because 95th minute and you're 2-0 up, the opposition are demoralised. They're not going to get 2 goals. 1 up, and they throw everything at you, like we did at Stevenage. And we should have got something back. We had an opportunity at Notts County right at the last minute when we headed over the bar, when we should have done better. This week we had Dan Ullman when Brownie came up, because it was the 96th minute, 95th minute. Unbelievably, their goalie punched it to him. He headed it at Dan Ullman, and normally Dan Ullman would have chested it and volleyed it in. He had plenty of time, plenty of room. That's the person I would want there for my life in that position. But unfortunately, on this occasion, he decided to head it and it petered out. So that's what happens. And if you know, when a team's only 1 goal down, then they throw everything late on, and sometimes it comes off. A lot of times it comes off.
Cheers.
No problem.
Yeah.
All right. Are you all right with Brownie, eh? Because he had a fantastic game the other night.